What's going on, guys? We have a little bit of a strange video this morning, and that's because yesterday I fully completed a video talking about some concerning wording within Google's repair policy, something that is similar to the controversial things that were sort of exposed that Samsung was up to. Talked about that in a prior video. So I filmed this and I basically took Google to task over this repair policy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play that video for you here in just a minute. You're going to see exactly what I thought about that policy, about how messed up and wrong that policy is, all of my concerns. But stick around to the end because I'm going to put another end on this video, just like this intro. And on that extra outro, we're going to talk about the fact that Google is apparently already doing the right thing. Unfortunately, in between me finishing that first video and now, they have put out a statement. So again, stick around to the end, but I want you to see exactly what the situation was, exactly how I felt about it. And then, like I said, we'll cap it off with Google's statement, and it's good news. About a week ago, I brought you guys a news report, a bombshell report, that if you took your Samsung device to a third-party repair shop, perhaps not specifically because the contract was not specific, but if you took your device to a place like perhaps a YouBreak iFix and they repair your device, there are some crazy things that could and will happen. Crazy thing number one, apparently they're going to tell Samsung all about it. They're going to tell Samsung who you are, what the phone was, what kind of repairs were being made, basically doxing you in a way to Samsung. Now, this may seem fairly innocuous, but I think I do have at least a few concerns with Samsung keeping a running log, a running tally of who I am, what devices I have had repaired, and in what ways, because maybe down the line, I have a folding device that fails, I send it to them, and they say, this guy has a track record of breaking his phones, and then denies that repair because they assume that you had something to do with it. Just a hypothetical, right? But you can kind of think of your own hypotheticals there, if you will. You take your phone to this company and they tell Samsung all about it. You probably don't know that's happening. It's not clear that that's happening, and it apparently is. But maybe the strangest thing in the contract that was leaked for these third-party repair shops was the fact that if they're repairing your phone and they find a third party, a non-OEM part inside that phone, this is going to be a rare occurrence, but let's say your USB-C port broke and you took it upon yourself, or maybe you took it to a non-licensed shop and they replaced that USB-C port. If they detect that, by the contract, they are supposed to disassemble your phone. That's crazy. And look, I don't think this is something that's happening all the time. For one, we would have heard about it. For two, I don't think there's that many Samsung phones with third-party parts inside them. And again, I don't know how many of these shops would actually go through with that procedure, but it was something that I brought to you guys and I criticized Samsung for. Today, we must do the exact same thing, kind of, but for Google, because hiding in plain sight, if you go to store.google.com and you go to their device repair page and you scroll down to item number 4, it says, quote, unauthorized parts. You will not send in a device containing non-Google authorized parts. If you do, your device will not be returned to you. They will literally just keep it. Now, I want to make this extraordinarily clear. This is unbelievably anti-consumer from Google and from Samsung. What they are effectively saying is, if you buy a phone from us, which you own, it is your phone, and you take it upon yourself to do a repair of some kind, but then you need to send the phone to the maker, to the OEM, back to Google or to a third-party repair place with Samsung, they are effectively telling you, we have the right to then take your phone. We can steal your phone from you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's your phone. You chose to repair it the way you wanted to repair your phone, and yet they have the right to just take it from you. As someone who's spent a lot of time working in the automotive retail space selling almost exclusively third-party repair parts for cars, imagine, can you imagine if this is how this worked? If you bought a car and something broke on it, your alternator went out. So you ran down to the local Advanced Auto Parts or whatever place you want to go to is, and you buy an alternator, and it's a DriveWorks brand, it's a CarQuest brand, it's Moog, whatever it might be, but it's not the factory part. You slap that bad boy on there and you're good to go. But then maybe a couple thousand miles down the road, something else breaks and you think, I'm just going to take it back to the dealer and let them work on it. And they look and they go, that is an aftermarket alternator. We are taking your car. That would be absolutely insane. Why, oh why, would we accept this kind of behavior with our phones? Mind you, up until about 4 or 5 years ago, you could probably buy a decent running car for less than this phone costs. And honestly, this makes things for me even worse. Both Samsung and Google have partnered with iFixit. What does that mean? Well, if you actually want to repair your device yourself, they're trying to give you this impression of friendliness to right to repair. You don't want to send it in. You don't want, here, you can do it yourself. Go to iFixit, and we have these repair guides with special tools and official OEM parts, and you can do it yourself. But again, this is great, but it shouldn't be the only option. Imagine again if that brand new Toyota that you bought, if you wanted to repair it yourself and the dealership said you want to do it yourself, that's fine. You can go over here to this counter inside the dealership and they will sell you guides, a manual on how to repair and official parts, and you can use those. But if you go to a third-party retailer and use that part, we'll steal your car if we see it again. And of course, to add fire to all of this, iFixit just put out a statement saying that they were no longer partnering with Samsung because Samsung did not, how do they put it, fit their vision of repairability. There was something there that made them think Samsung was not serious about having their phones be repairable. So they're not even going to do that with Samsung anymore. Another massive red flag. What we have here is, again, two major companies, Google and Samsung, both trying to look like they're friendly to consumers, trying to look like they're okay with you repairing your own phones, but they are absolutely not. They only want to let you do it if you do it through them, and that's a problem. We need these right to repair laws, and we need them yesterday. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, this is AndroidAuthority.com. They had an article on this. They brought it to attention, and a Google spokesperson reached out to them, and I'm just going to give you the quote. If a customer sends their Pixel to Google for repair, we would not keep it regardless of whether it has non-OEM parts or not. Now, that is immediately concerning to me, just simply because, where is it? You definitely are telling people that your device will not be returned to you in that circumstance. So they're backing off of this in a way that, I mean, that's good that they won't keep your phone, but you definitely were telling people that you would keep their phone. So that's a little bit strange. In certain situations, we won't be able to complete a repair if there are safety concerns. That's understandable. In that case, we will either send it back to the customer or work with them to determine next steps. Customers are also free to seek the repair options that work best for them. We are updating our terms and conditions to clarify this. Now, again, this is good. It's good to update those terms and conditions, to change it, the wording to be, accurate of what you say you're actually doing. But you have to wonder, one, why was that ever written in your stuff here, which I'll for the umpteenth time, why was this ever written in this manner? That is a big question and a problem for me. And why would you ever think that would be an appropriate thing to have listed or, potentially to ever do? What this seems like to me is that this became a thing. People started reacting to this, rightfully so, with some frustration and some anger. Google has realized, okay, yeah, that's just not going to fly. And now they're almost trying to act like, oh, we didn't mean that. That's not what we weren't doing that. That's crazy. Well, hey, we'll fix it. We'll update it. I don't know why it said that, but we're not doing that. It's fine. We have to be fully aware here that why they're changing this. So good, hold them accountable, just like Samsung. Good news is, at least they're changing it. Okay, we've heard nothing from Samsung doing very similar things. At least Google's changing it. I wish that they were more transparent. I wish that they just straight up said, okay, yeah, we've heard the backlash. We understand that that was a policy that people were not going to be reacting positively to, the error of our ways, so forth and so on. We're going to fix it. This is like a half measure for me. It's good, not as good as it should have been. That's what I've got for you in this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friend.